And when the class comes, I'll be like, I don't remember what you're talking about, but I'll get it. I lean on my intelligence, and for that, I don't use my memory. I mean, it's something that Einstein said. He said, "Don't use your brain for anything that can't be written down." So you have more neurons and synapses connecting for reasoning and logic, and increasing the I guess, what did you call it? The intelligence uh, mechanism in your brain. So I always tried that, and it worked. Like, I gave that a try when I was in my early teens, I think it was, and it's really strange that you can just do that. Certainly mind over matter. It's really strange that you can just think not to remember things, and then you don't remember them. I think maybe if you start earlier enough, you can do it. How do you do that? You just let them. You just sort of like if you guys have ever been in the army, any of the military forces, training yourself to avoid pain. You can be experiencing the pain. Pain can be happening. A memory can be happening and permanizing, but you sort of mentally distract yourself from it. It's like a Zen thing, or it's like meditating out into a different void. You refocus. It's like a refocusing thing. It's refocus. You refocus instead of. I think possibly the reason why people remember things, I could be wrong, is because they think about it. Because they think about that thing. It's gotten to the point now after 30 years that I don't even have to try. It's just there's experiences that don't even permeate now. Like, it's just like those aren't part of what I process. You know what I mean? Uh, so it can be interesting because all of a sudden, somebody points something out, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, it's just refocusing things. Yeah, Rebecca. Shit, in the medical field. Yeah, and what do you mean by that? Like, because you have to kind of tune out things that might be disturbing mentally, physiologically to your gut, and instead focus on the job. Focus on the job, kind of thing. Is that what you mean, Rebecca? I think that's what you mean. I definitely get that. Like, you guys see Maverick yet? Top Gun Maverick? Don't think. And that's a pretty common thing that NASCAR drivers will tell you. Um, if you think about the wall, you're dead. Do you know how I found that out? Because when I was like 18 and I was driving my mom somewhere, she's like, Jesus Christ, can you get away from the median, And I'm like, I don't even notice it, And a couple of days later, she says, I found out that NASCAR drivers, if they think about the wall, they hit it. It's the same thing. If you think about something, you head towards it. You can't do that. You think, you're dead. Chris, is that from Maverick? That's a good one. Or are you just saying that about NASCAR or about this topic? Yep. It is. He says that. You think, you're dead. Okay. From the original Top Gun or from Top Gun 2? Did you see it? It was so good. No. Oh, you've got to see. Chris, we've been talking about it for a while here while you were gone. A, you've got to see it. And B, believe me when I tell you this. This is real. It's better than the original. You might not believe that, but I'm very critical about movies. I'm a cinemaphile. I would rarely ever give something a better than the original type of rating. It's undeniably better than the original. It's undebatable. It's that phenomenally much better. And I've now seen it twice, once in 40X and once in IMAX. And there goes Rebecca. Such a great movie. My father went to the theater, and he's bedbound disabled. You have no excuse. Yeah, no, it's really phenomenal. If it was still in the bigger screens, I would go see it again. That good. What I found amazing, which is not usually the case, is it was better the second time I saw it even. I was like, wow, it was actually better the second time. That was pretty rare, because usually the second time, I'd be bored. I know I see everything coming. I already know everything coming. But there's enough there that it's like listening to a favorite tale. It's a really good story. I think that's what's cements it as being so good. It's just such a good story. And Rebecca, I don't know, a lot of people maybe missed. Oh shit, I'm not going to say that. Would be giving spoilers. I won't say anything. I almost gave a spoiler. I was like, at the end, by the way. Yeah, anyway, it's got a good ending. Do I think the NASDAQ tanks today with PPI? It's always interesting. The market is always interesting. I don't think so. But if it does, interesting market. I'm betting the other way. I've released my puts, and I've doubled down on oil. What was I going to say about that? Thinking of memory and shit. But the numbers were good, so I'll talk about that in just 1 second. Let's talk about the PPI numbers. That's what everyone's concerned about. Good movie. Go see Top Gun. Definitely don't miss it. Try to get it on it's definitely a big screen experience. I think Rebecca can back me up on that one. Yeah, it's in everything. All right, segueing in now with no segue into PPI. So the PPI is like a leading indicator. It's the producer's price index. It's a leading, it's more leading indicator of inflation than CPI. And what we have is that PPI is a little bit softer, a little bit cooler than CPI, which means we may be rounding or having at least some inflection here, and that inflation may be moderating. And it was expected at the top end to be 0.8%, expected at the low end to be 0.6% for the month. And it was 0.8%. So it was the top end of the range, but it was not a surprise. It was within expectations. And that's pretty much what everyone thought it would be, is 0.8%. That works out to be 8% for year over year. 10.8%. But when you exclude energy and food, which are faster moving and not such a long-term threat, it was 8.1%, I believe. So that is better than the recent CPI, which I believe was 8.3 or 8.6%. So it's a little bit of an incrementally better number, somewhat positive. It means, what does it mean? It means that inflation might be curbing a little bit. We need like 2 or 3 more points, 2 or 3 more months really to be able to get a trend out of the thing. But it more importantly, it means that tomorrow, probably based on the CPI and the PPI behind us now, tomorrow the Fed will probably only do 0.5 basis points because we're starting to see some effect. By the way, quantitative tapering and all this stuff works is rates have to be hiked to the point where rates are higher than inflation. Otherwise, it doesn't come down. See, that's why the Fed raising rates in March was such a bad idea. and they should have been doing it in November, because you want to get on top of inflation. Right now, we're underneath and chasing it. You see, you want to get on top of it and push it down, because that's the technique, and that's how it works. They were fools, just that made an absolute mistake. We account for a quarter of the world's GDP. The world's inflating because of us and our policies, and we were fools not to start rate hiking in November. But if you want to see 8% inflation come down, we've got to get on top of it, and we have a very slow path here. We won't be there till April of next year at this rate. But hopefully by then it'll have curbed down to 6, 5, and then there we are, starting to get on top of it, and now we can start to stop rate hikes, and it will start to push it down, and then we'll release the rate hikes as we come down. And now we can't come down until we're on top of it. Okay, we can't come down until we're on top of it. So you can't play the game like this 6 months late every time, or you're just blowing years off of the earth. You're just blowing, financial gains off of the earth. I mean, you've been imprisoned. Your money, your cash has been imprisoned for an extra 6 months to a year. You lost 1 year of compounding in your life because of the way the Fed handled this. I mean, that's how fucked up it is. They literally handicapped 1 year of your life. And it's a big deal in that sense. However, I will say this, that this prolonged corrective nature that we're being put through, which is going to overall probably be about 2.5 years total before we're in a raging bull market again, maybe even more, will create a really strong bull market, and will create very strong, huge runs in leading stocks once we start pulling out of this. And in the meantime, we're going to just catch every rally we can. These numbers indicate probably that we're going to rally from here for some odd days. Like the bottom may be in temporarily, short term, right now for a month, basically, until new numbers come out or new concerns come out. So this could kick off a bottom here, which might rally for a week or two. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. All right, so what stocks are you buying? Are you buying call options on oil and energy? Ron, I'm in shares on UCO and USO, 24/7 ETFs, USO and UCO. That's crude and US oil, and they're both appreciating and looking like they're going to break out of a lower shelf. So oil's hit $123 a barrel, and potentially may go to $150 a barrel by the end of July. Energy up pre-market because of it. The market itself right around where it was yesterday, mid-range, and indicating slightly upward on the PPI numbers. Gold sideways, so no help from gold there. Rates were at 3.3-ish%, but have rushed back up to 3.35% right now, coming off of 3.36% at the peak yesterday. So rates not letting up, the rates going up are a foregone conclusion, and they will continue to rise. So looks like we may have a positive day ahead of us. Right now, like I said earlier, QD is a momentum mover that we're looking at. QD. Also, FedEx, FDX announced a dividend, and so they popped 10%. So that'll probably fade during the day, but you could play a 5-minute breakout on that. And Oracle, you could play a 5-minute breakout on that as well. Oracle, ORCL, it went from 64 to 74 overnight. I forget why. I think it was earnings. Let me see. Yeah, QD and FDX. Thank you. Who was that? Brandon. Thank you very much. The news was, earnings. So, if Oracle's ready to run, which I don't think it is, because of these earnings, then it could be a good place to get a small entry today and then add more tomorrow if it continues, and then hold for 5 to 10 to 20 days if it runs. So you could have a day trade that turns into a swing trade on Oracle today. Alternatively, it may try to fill the gap, but I think that's a very congested trade. Even Chris and I were talking about that a little bit ago. You want to probably long this, not really short it. That because it just puts you through too much. They call the ulcer index. It's an actual thing, an ulcer index. Look it up. It's a real thing. Yeah, we're watching CLVS, but it does not look like it's doing anything right at this moment. However, it's holding that level, the 0.9s. It'll need to break $1 really to sell me on it, CLVS. But QD looks like the best prospect. We're also watching Sonam, SLNO, Optien, Cavill, EMBK, PBTS, GMVD, CYN, AOV, BLTE. So I'm watching a lot of things. I'm only mentioning what I'm mentioning because those are the only things really that look like interesting. QD. What oil stocks are you buying, and are you buying call options on oil and energy? Okay, you already answered that. So, did Mike Bosey? Did you get in? Let's see. Mike did. I don't understand why he can't get in. Make sure you're clicking the right link. Try both. All right. So anyway, 3 minutes until the market opens. And we've pretty much got this day under wraps, hopefully, here. If you want to be playing rates, by the way, I don't know if now is the best time. It's really, in the middle of a run right now, but, it's up to you. It's your life. The ticker to use could be TMV, or you could short TLT. TMV is the inverse 3x 20-year Treasury bonds. That's up, substantially over the last 2 weeks, and since inflation started, it's up over 100%. Okay, 2 minutes to the open. I've got DQ, delimited on my watch list. Okay, so if it does what I need it to do, we'll be alerted. Oh, it's really close. Yeah, look at that. Oof, right at the breakout. So you watch it, Mr. M. And you guys, if you're wanting to get into DQ, you'd get in at the green over red today. What should you buy at the market open and sell towards market close? Yeah. Maybe FedEx, but be prepared to be wrong. If you guys got some VIX puts up here in the 30s, depending on how rates go tomorrow, that could start playing out. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll be able to swap those back out for calls in the lower 20 in the teens. Meta, I'm short Meta, and CBRL. Those are some of my shorts. I don't know necessarily that it's going to work out, but that's my thesis on Meta. Apple call or put. Maybe call if it breaks 134 for sure. Same thing, Ron, probably. Same thing. Got to get over the red, green over red. It's got to get over the top of yesterday's candle. I'm already heavily in oil, so it's like I've already got the exposure. But if you guys want to get ExxonMobil to play oil, go for it. 47 seconds until the market opens. Thoughts on Redbox? That little pop is over. Okay, we've got 20 seconds to the market opens. Quiet before the storm here. The first 5 minutes will be the most important part of the market. 8 seconds to the market opens. Maybe AMD, somebody asked. Okay, got that UCO alert. COP coming up on triggered alerts here. COP up and over, green over red. COP. All right, let's keep an eye on how this market is going to play out here. Right at the open, we are up and down and up and down. I think the market's ready to take some gambles, make some bets, take some direction, despite the fact that tomorrow is the Fed decision, because based on these numbers, you can already kind of figure out what the Fed decision is going to be. FedEx hitting 223 now to the upside, long, looking good. COP and checking on VLO now may have triggered. COP and VLO breaking yesterday's high. Those are entries for swing 100s. And it could be ExxonMobil too. Let me check. No. And CVX. No. So COP and VLO, swing 100 entries right now. They're the strongest. This is how long it takes to get an alert out, you know. This is why it pays to be watching the stream. There we go. That's funny. Okay. I really need this market to take some direction here. Do market. Just got alerted about KAVL, HUSA, and Indo. No, NEO starting to be at the top of the list. Let's see here. I got to wait for the list to sort itself. Okay, the market turning down now. The market is turning down. We don't know if that's just liquidity grab. Okay, we're 4 minutes in, 3 minutes in. And looks like down is the direction at the moment. My dog is freaking out. He heard the opening bell sound. He's got Pavlov's dog syndrome. I take him for a walk at the closing bell, but not the opening bell. I somehow need to change my opening bell sound. CHRW up the most at the open here. CHRW. Let's take a look at that. The market just dojiing. It's a fagaji. Yeah, pretty much everything is still just kind of getting its footing. Gold, rates. Apple's definitely dropping. So that's going to probably trigger a sell-off in the market. Apple, Amazon, Tesla, all dropping. Growth is dropping. Rates are going up. 3.356. Energy pulling back pretty strong. Oil pulling back to yesterday's high. Dollar remaining unchanged. Market wants to test and maybe break and maybe shake out investors. QQQ at 274.50. Perhaps it's intent on shaking out investors today in preparation for longing tomorrow. If they can get all that long money right now, get you to give you their shares, that works in their favor tomorrow. Okay, your VPN. Interesting. Okay, Mike, and I was talking to others about you earlier, making sure you got in. I've been a little bit busy, as you can imagine, but there you go, Mike. Okay. That's interesting because sometimes we have people who have problems with the link. Maybe that's their situation too. Rates are at 3.366 now. Oh, well, they hit 3.347 rather. I was looking at the high of yesterday. 3.345. The one thing I didn't do was let everybody know to come on in today, but it looks like most of you figured it out. What's that now? All right, Sonam starting to move up. It's over VWAP. If it can take over the 80 cent level, maybe it has a chance of breaking highs on the day. QD not really happening. There's not really money flowing into any of these. CHRW went from 100 to 111. It's now at 108. It looks like REV possibly running right now. It's a dead cat bounce. I wouldn't touch it. Never mind. I was curious to look at Edu. Yeah, Edu's just been on fire. It's been on a run. Edu has a long history of great runs, but it's way too far gone now. You have to let it settle down or pull back, green over red, anything like, it's got to you can't grab it like at this point. CLVS definitely happening now, breaking over that 0.90 level, and now it just broke out from pre-market highs. That was what that ring was. Where's the bottom on the Qs? 274-ish. Oil on the pullback of the high it made pre-market, and generally it's in a good spot though for appreciation. We'll see. The Qs making new lows now, so is SPY, and the Dow is taking that shape as well. Meanwhile, it looks like defensives are holding. So this has been a day to get out of growth at the moment. It looks like that's what's happening. Rotation into safety before the Fed announcement, I'm sure, is what's happening there. And gold is even on a slight uptick. So safety being XLP, consumer staples, Pepsi, toilet paper, Procter and Gamble, Coca-Cola, Walgreens, etc. CLVS struggling at that $1 level. CHRW at 109 now. You can see the Dow, the Qs, and SPY are all bottoming right now. Well, the Dow is looking like it wants to. Who's in BLTE? That just keeps going. I still got a free ride runner on that one. Okay, we've got word that AERC is halted. That's interesting for sure, because we know that one's been really hot. Oh, it's halted to the downside. All right. Yeah, no. It traded inside yesterday's bar and it's halted to the downside. That's not good. That's a nothing. That's a Fuguji. And the VIX actually is on the rise. The Q's definitely going down. I feel like that's going to be just a shakeout, though. and that tomorrow's rate hike is going to be 0.5 basis points. Which will be somewhat good for growth. Yeah, Oracle decided to retrace. Why? What did I say, Michael? Cue the submarine sound. Send one ping. One ping only. Thank you. ARC diving down. Okay. You thought 75 was a lock now on what? Rev has halted. Okay, I think that was up, was it not? Let me see. No, I guess it's probably halted to the downside. That's a dead cat bounce. We're not interested really in Rev. We don't play every fucking thing that wiggles. I mean, Jesus Christ. Have some discretion, man. When should you get out of SQQQ this week? You should gradually be getting out of that. I would just be like really careful holding anything going into the Fed meeting. I'd rather be in cash and just take whatever the reaction is than try and play guessing games. Because you could be right about what the Fed decides, but wrong about how the market reacts. So you have a 25% chance at best of being right. All right, CLVS hitting 1.016, 1023, starting to rise. Make sure you guys take profits, like 20% profits under every nickel. Base agency. I'm not sure who you're talking to, what you're talking about. Yeah, there's definitely never a straight answer for sure. Trading is a discretionary skill. The more knowledge and experience you have, the better trader you can be. It's just like a sport or something, you know? Yeah, HUSA with a high energy green over red candle. HUSA, HUSA. I'll put that in penny stock alerts. Come on. You should hear me swear at Thinkorswim. It's a lot of fun. I've been using this app for 23 years and hasn't changed a motherfucking ounce. 25 years. All right. NASA shirt. Thanks. Fed raises half a point. Okay. Fed raises 3/4 or full point would be a surprise. No. I think Fed raises half a point will be good. Fed raises 3/4 of a point will be a slight surprise, but within expectation. Fed raises a point will be a cold day in hell. Oil just hit $123.50, so popped up really strongly there, bouncing off of yesterday's high. It's a good day to be in oil. Good time to be in oil is what I mean by that. Or like a cold day in hell, it's about the time. And there goes HUSA, HUSA. Suncor. All right, back to the near the top of yesterday's candle. That is decent. I've got alerts on all of our prospects, but if you guys are watching anything in particular and you see the pattern, you understand my patterns, I'll take a look at it. Maybe it's something that I don't have delineated at this time. There's something. SM Energy. No, it's pulling back at the moment, but it did get green over red with potentially higher end of day volume. However, it really needs to get up and over the open at least. Otherwise, it's moving down. Rates are hanging around 334. Indo is moving. Okay, that could be good. CLVS now up to 1.12. Make sure you're taking profits underneath the 5-cent level and the 10-cent level. You should be about 40% on it at this point. The Q's still indicating that they want to go lower. Growth really getting hammered the hardest today. Most of the other rotations going into the money flow is going into defensives, presumably in preparation for tomorrow's numbers. CHRW all the way up to 111 now. When I brought that to you, it was just under 108. Almost hitting 112, CHRW. Yeah, Indo's kind of dead cat bouncing. It's just natural movement. Nothing intrinsic. Tesla's breaking its low of yesterday. And then the recent low is 620.50, roughly 620. And easy to remember. Just if it's going to break 620.50, it's going to break 620. So anyway, 620 spells some doom for Tesla's price and could easily cast it into the 500s. FedEx is now at 227-ish. Was 223, I think, when we were looking at it. 220, less than 220, 219, 218. So you can edge out a little bit of profit there. Got that going for me. We're going to keep that one alive for a long time. Let's see. It's telling me about CLVS, Dawn, Alvi, and NOKBF. But let me get it sorted first. Change from open 15.9%. Dawn. Dawn may be running. Where are you, Dawn? Dawn is off of my radar, I guess because it opened so low. Yeah, Dawn is making its way back up to yesterday's highs. And if it does break yesterday's highs, it could go test $20. So you might want to be on top of that one. CHRW now at 113. CHRW, which is nice. ExxonMobil is at the... I literally got the alert while I was looking at it. I beat the fucking alert to the alert. ExxonMobil, XOM is alerting right now for green over red. I'll go post that to the Swing 100. I like ExxonMobil a lot as far as how it's able to squeeze profits out of its revenues in this inflationary environment with oil. They basically live for these moments. This is what's going to fund them for the next 10 years where they're not profitable. So they do overly extremely well during these periods. Just nice. The system beeps me every time I do that, I guess. How is my QQQ put down? Oh, there it goes, because we have a bit of a bounce right now. So we went and tested the bottom, yesterday's bottom, and have had a bounce from there. We'll see where it goes from here. The market may be moving up from here. That may be the bottom. XLE now up and over yesterday's high. So energy sector heating up. Yep, I said it. And you guys remember how we talked about timing is more important than anything, than even your risk reward and defending your line, remember? So just a quick pop quiz. How do you know if your timing is good? How do you know if you got in at the right time? What should you see? You guys remember from class? Immediate green, correct. You should be at a profit right away. If you're not, just get out. Just, it didn't happen. If you're ahead, what? If you're ahead by 2 minutes, if you don't have parentheses around your P&L, it's good. It's a good day when you don't have parentheses around your P&L. That's very good. Rates are moving up 335. That may quell some growth in QQQ. Defensives and industrials moving up. Financials as well. All of the inflationary and value stocks are having a good day. Growth is behind. Let's put it that way. I don't know if I checked out Indo. I'm going to check that out. Yeah, no, that was just a bit of a little bottom bounce there. Nothing significant. FedEx now at 228, 218, and up on the day since yesterday's close, 13%. FDX FedEx. So that was the one the guy asked me, hey, if I could get in something today and then sell it to close, which one would you choose? I said FedEx. I mean, if pressed against the wall, if my life depends on it, I can pick a winner. But I usually do not like to because That's just not how to trade. I mean, you take prospects, you take on risk. You have to be willing to take on risk. You have to be willing to be wrong. Don't even start trading if you're not more willing to be wrong than you are willing to be right. No, nothing going on GovT. Don't ever give back a 10% or a 20% gain. Those are key to your performance. You know, closing out those kinds of gains are key to your compounded returns. And Shopify is still dropping. NFE also, green over red. NFE, if you want it. I like it. It's about $1.50 of risk on NFE and $1.25 of risk NFE. Or energy. The market taking some more direction off of that bounce, off of the bottom. Looking like it's going to grind up at least today. Base materials, industrials, meanwhile, financials and energy on the move up. Rates. The VIX is dropping. If you've got any calls that you intended to sell in the 30s, well, shit. For me, I'm going to wait until tomorrow because those can act as a hedge. And I'll just sell them tomorrow. I'll take whatever my profits are. But if you're intent on selling before the Fed announcement, you could take your VIX off in this 30 range here. Your calls. Price target for Dawn, no price target. You take off incrementally. I think it's over 20, right? So every 50 cents, you take out 5 to 10 to 20% of your position. But it's not happening yet. You know, it needs to get up and over yesterday's high. OPTN coming up. OPTN. Trade activating right now. OPTN. FedEx now at 228.40. Tesla bounced way off the bottom there. Nice, strong bounce. Same with Amazon and Apple. So this is the kind of liquidity grab I was talking about. Is a really fast, strong bounce so that you get trapped and have to sell for mercy. And now they have the shares. So you'll probably see that little slow grind downs, little promising breakdowns, and then quick reversals trap you. And you've got to be very fast on a whiplash day like today. It is likely that we're not going to really move much today because we're waiting for tomorrow's Fed. CHRW is back to 110.50. Remember, if you had a 10 or a 20% profit, never ever let it get away from you. More important to compound gains than it is to have bigger gain, to risk gains, to risk your gains. It's better to compound gains than to risk your gains. Go. Write that fucking thing down. PDD. All right, I'm going to go after that. I mean, all the Chinese stocks, are benefiting from lifted cloud of dark cloud over them from the regulations that are slowly easing. Not a profitable company, and its revenue is all over the map. And we're in a recessionary environment with rates going up worldwide. Good luck. I mean, if you're looking for continuation, I think today's not the day to be thinking about that. But if it happens to move tomorrow, perhaps. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the group. Have a good morning. Good trading with you. It's going to be a doji day. A doji day afternoon. Catch you in the trading group.